Ladies and gents, hello and welcome to another YouTube video. My name is Dennis Beloga and I am representing DB Fragrance Tour on YouTube. If you're new to this YouTube channel, please do not hesitate to subscribe because I'm still a small growing YouTuber. But either way guys, today we're going to be reviewing 5 fragrances under 20 to 30 Great British Pounds or around 20 to 30 American dollars for the fall and winter. Right, so in no particular order, at number 5 we have Maison Alhambra's Ebony Fume. Now, Ebony Fume is, if you haven't guessed, a clone of Tom Ford's Eban Fumé, and the bottles look really similar. If I put it right here, you can sort of tell they look similar. But as a fragrance, I must say the quality and projection on this is very good. First off, the oil concentration is really high. And because of that, you get about 2 to 3 hours of projection, and it lasts me like 11 hours on a good day at least. But this is quite intoxicating, I must say. Be careful with how much you spray this because it can be very cloying. But yeah, the juice is very high quality as well. It smells 90 to 95% similar to the original. Now, for anybody who wishes to look at the atomizer, here's a little shot. Wow. As I said, this is a very strong perfume. So right off the bat, I will say that this fragrance, it is extremely smoky and woodsy and masculine. I don't feel like a woman could pull this off, even if she tried. And I will say, it is very sort of, it's an acquired taste, this perfume. I don't think someone young could pull this off, even in certain occasions. I think this is for a mature man only, but at the same time it's a very beautiful fragrance. It's very hard to wear, and if you can wear this, and if you do wear this, I have a lot of respect for you. But as a mature man's everyday sort of fall, winter, autumn fragrance, whatever you call it, very good. But yeah, 95% similar to the original. The juice is extremely high quality, and in the note breakdown as well, I get a lot of incense. I get a lot of Palo Santo, and the black pepper, it smells almost like fresh, cracked, very crisp. And at the same time, in the middle notes, you get a truckload of labdanum. It smells very resinous as well because you get resinous notes in the base, and that makes it overall very balsamic, mature man's fragrance. I would say this is definitely a mature man's fragrance, an acquired taste, and at the same time, it does pull compliments, but you got to be in the right sort of environment. I've worn this certain times and I have received compliments, but I've also received dislikes towards this fragrance because it's reminiscent of pickle juice. I've heard it smells like fox piss. I've heard it smells like furniture polish or shoe polish. So it is an acquired taste, but if you do manage to pull this off, hats off to you, man. Now, when I think of this fragrance, I think of an old man in his like 30s is not old, 30s, a man in his 30s/40s, do not think that I said old. A man in his 30s/40s walking down the street, and there are like leaves falling in the background. He's wearing a nice raincoat, like one of those trench coats, and he's a man basically. It's a very sort of rugged, manly fragrance, very polarizing, I will say that. Either way, number 5, 11 to 12 British pounds or like 18 sort of dollars. This is a no-brainer if you're over sort of 30 or 40. Coming in again at number 4, in no particular order of course, we have Maison Alhambra's Your Touch for Men. Now, if you don't know what this is a dupe of Emporio Armani's Strong With You Intensely, sorry, the original, not the Intensely. But my god, this is a damn good one. Very versatile, I reckon. You know how I said in the last fragrance, that would be for more mature individuals. This one, it could be sort of any age. It's pulls in compliments, it's very versatile, it's very unique as well if you're in the right sort of location. But I don't really see many people wearing this because they don't really know about it. In the fragrance industry though, a lot of people do know how mass appealing this is, how popular it is as a fragrance. But amongst normal individuals, you'll be able to pull this off and smell different and unique. So first off, the build quality is really nice. It's got nice thick glass. You got a bottle cap that's made of rubber, and it feels like quality. And I'll just talk about the projection and sillage. So first I'm spraying it, which don't know if you saw that, but the atomizer is very good. You get about, I say 1 to 2 hours of projection, and it's not intimate, but it's not enormous. I'd say it's a moderate projection. And sillage, I'd say 8 to 9 hours on a good day. Now, with this compared to the original, I will say that it smells slightly different. As an Arabic sort of fragrance, in the dry down you get the sort of Arabic tinge. If you own the Arabic fragrance, or like you own a lot, you sort of understand what I'm trying to say. In the dry down, it smells like an Arabic fragrance, but you can still get what it's trying to copy. And in the opening as well, it's not a one-to-one in the opening. It's much more fresh, much more fruity. It is more pineapple forward as well. So if that's a plus for you, then by all means go ahead. But it is very, very wearable. Now, if I was to compare this to the original, as in regarding similarity, I will say that it is around, I'd say 80% similar to the original. But at the same time, you can still, in the air, you know exactly what it smells like. And I've asked the individuals who actually own the Strongbow View, and it does smell similar. Now, when I think of this fragrance, I think of a young man from about 17 to 19 years old. He's coming back from college, university, so on and so forth, and he's wearing a nice bright sort of cashmere / woolly jumper. He's well dressed, he's wearing Oxfords, that sort of style. But yeah, you get a lot of cinnamon, a lot of vanilla, and a lot of chestnut. And for the price as well, I paid roughly 20 Great British pounds for this. You can get it for cheaper nowadays actually if you go on eBay or TikTok shop. But regardless, for a cheap fragrance, no brainer, very easy to wear. If you want an everyday beater fragrance for the fall and winter, by all means pick this. Don't look ahead in the video. This is a really good fragrance for the price. And yeah, it's versatile, it's good for any sort of age, almost any occasion. I can say you can sort of wear this to the gym if you spray in moderation, but I can't see you not wearing winter fragrances to the gym. That's not a very good idea. Right, so next up in the number 3 place, we have Soir by Fragrance World, I think it is, yeah. Soir by Fragrance World. So, this is a bit hard to understand what it's duping unless you pay attention to the name. This is a dupe of Maison Francis Kurkdjian's Grand Soir, which is a very amber heavy fragrance. And yeah, I paid roughly 17 Great British pounds for this, which is about 20 sort of US dollars. But this is very, very powerful, I will say. So first off, before I say anything, pressurized atomizer. Now, of all the fragrances, this is the only one that when I sniff it, it makes me want to sneeze or cough. The opening is very, very harsh, but once you let it dry down, it's a very beautiful fragrance. At first, actually, I wasn't really a fan of this fragrance, but over time, I've warmed up to it and I started to like it. So with this fragrance, you will get a lot of amber, you get a lot of vanilla, you're going to get a sort of what I think it smells like vanilla sort of cookies or chocolate chip cookies. But yeah, it's a very sort of sweet, I'd say unisex fragrance. Men and women can pull this off, but at the same time it is an acquired taste. It is very sort of, it's not sweet in your face. With French perfumery, French perfumers tend to have a more subtle, simplistic approach to perfumes. And with this as well, being a clone of a French perfume, again, Maison Francis Kurkdjian, it's very sort of simple, but very, very sort of attractive as well. Now with projection as well, I first sprayed this on, the projection lasted about 2 hours, and it was a pretty cold day as well, so I did get quite a bit of projection. And then for the rest of the day, I'd say it lasted 8 to 9 hours of longevity overall, but the projection was actually quite good. I eventually got nose blind to it, but my peers could smell me around and they were wondering what this sort of fragrance was. I told them obviously it was a Grand Soir, but either way, what you get is a heavy dose of amber and vanilla. I do understand the pepper being there, I do understand the sandalwood being there. I think there's actually quite a bit of sandalwood which makes it sort of creamy in the way, which is the reason why it made me think of chocolate chip cookies. Now when I think of this fragrance, I think of a man or a young couple walking at night wearing a scarf, wearing a scarf, holding hands, and like they've got like a nice overcoat on. It's obviously cold weather. I think this suits cold weather very, very well. So like I said earlier, I still think this is a unisex fragrance. Men and women can pull this off, and even though it is more simple, like I said earlier, it is still a very good fragrance. You can wear this to a lot of occasions, just not at the gym. Do not wear this to the gym. I swear, if I see people wearing winter fragrances to the gym, don't do that. You're gonna stink out the whole gym. But you can wear this to school. Yeah. You can wear this to school, you can wear this to college, university. You're gonna smell sweet, delightful, like a cookie. But you can sort of be versatile with this, because it's not gonna be extremely cloying to your peers around you. But yeah, summary of this one: Soir by Fragrance World, clone of Maison Francis called John's Grand Soir. It is 17 Great British pounds, or like roughly $20. Lasts quite a bit amount of time. Simplistic vanilla and amber fragrance, and basically vanilla and cookies. Now, at number 2, I was meant to gatekeep this one, but I couldn't resist not talking about it. This is Seher by Latafa, and look at the bottle, man. It looks absolutely crazy. Before I get into it, I must say, look at this cap, man. This is really heavy. You can sort of, if you hit someone in the teeth with it, you would basically break their teeth. It's a solid, heavy metal cap, and the fragrance bottle as well. It is just beautiful. It looks like a dragon sort of holding a ball in its mouth. Pause. Anyway, so Seher is a dupe of Tom Ford's Vanilla SEX. We can't say it because we'll get them demonetized. But either way, atomizer first off. Very beautiful atomizer, and just to summarize it, it's a very beautiful, sweet, nutty almond and vanilla fragrance. You get some honey nuances as well, even though I don't think honey is mentioned. Either way, sprayed this on my hand and it lasted all day. The fragrance juice is really high quality as well. I paid roughly 27 Great British pounds for it, which is just about 30 US dollars. But if you can afford it, man, this is still a very, very good fragrance, and it's very unisex as well. It's a very sort of, I would say as a fragrance, this is slightly feminine leading, because vanilla sex is mainly vanilla, so more women are going to buy this than men, but a man can still pull this off, man. I still think it's very nice. It's very nutty. You get a lot of almonds, you get a lot of vanilla. I don't know if it's mentioned or not, but I get a lot of honey in this actually. I smell a lot of honey in this fragrance. That's the one thing I wanted to mention. You get a lot of sweet tonka beans. I think that's what gives it the sort of honey-like sweetness. But either way, it's a very, very high quality fragrance, and it lasts all day. Projection 2 to 3 hours, and longevity roughly 12 hours plus. Lasts all day, man. It's actually hard to scrub off as well. It is a scrubber if you don't like that. But this will definitely get you noticed in rooms. You just have to have the confidence to wear this as a man, because it is, as I said, slightly feminine leaning, but you can still pull this off. I still think a man can wear this just from the bitter almond and this sort of nutty, woody nature to it. And comparing this to the original as well, Vanilla SEX by Tom Ford, this is slightly more wearable for men, so there's a plus. Only issue I have with this fragrance is it may be more pricey than the rest of the fragrances, so that might not be the best sort of thing towards some viewers. And also, I'd like to say that when this dries down, it does have that typical Arabian sort of funky smell to it. If you're not a fan of that, then just bear in mind with this perfume. So last but definitely not least, we have quite a well-known one. This is Khamra by Latafa, very well-known fragrance, and it's meant to dupe Kilian's Angel Share, but I'd say it's sort of 70 to 80% similar. The juice is extremely high quality, especially for the price. You can get it for around 15 Great British pounds nowadays. It is extremely affordable, lasts all day, projection's enormous, and yeah, only issue is I will say it is slightly feminine leaning, but yeah, when I smell this, actually before we start anything, let's just get the atomizer in there. Amazing and massive atomizer. You get boozy apple pie with sweetness from the dates and the vanilla, and a blast of cinnamon in the opening as well. It's a very beautiful sort of fragrance. Now, even though you're supposed to wear this on certain special occasions, if you've got the confidence, you can still daily this. People will ask you left and right, how do you smell so good? I remember one time I was at work and I accidentally leaned onto my co-worker's coat, and part of the perfume got on, like a tiny speck of the perfume lingered on it, and the whole rest of the week she was asking me what perfume I was wearing because she could smell me when she arrived home. But yeah, that's how powerful it is. It's a very, very good perfume for the price, and if you haven't got a new collection, then try it, because if you don't like it, then you're going to have peers who do like it. And also makes a very good room air freshener, because I got a couple of air fresheners from this. But yeah, very boozy apple pie, very sort of very sweet dates and vanilla and cinnamon. It's, like I said, it's not a very masculine perfume. I'd say it's actually slightly feminine leaning, but who cares at this point, man? If you're worried about smelling good in autumn and winter, this is a no-brainer, man. You would smell absolutely delicious to everybody passing you by, especially in the air as well. Now, before I do end this video, I'd just like to get in an honourable mention, and that honourable mention is actually Maison Alhambra's Dark Door Intense. I think this is a beautiful perfume, a rendition of Dior Homme Intense. It's a beautiful dark iris and orris fragrance. This it doesn't last too long actually. I have other dupes, like I have Cayenne Classic in the back, I don't know if you can see it. I'll probably bring it up in a sec. But I have Cayenne Classic, I have Illusion Intense, but out of all of them, I say my favourites must be Dark Door Intense. I say personally it's most the closest to the original. I think the juice is higher quality, you get a slight more brightness from it that you get from the original. I think this smells more higher quality than the rest of the dupes. But regardless, for a Dior Homme Intense clone, I think this is absolutely beautiful. You can see I put quite a dent in this as well actually. That's how much I love it, but as it's a very sort of classy, sophisticated fragrance. Now I will say, if you want to signature this, I reckon you can. You need to have a lot of confidence. When I think of Batman or Bruce Wayne or any sort of masculine, powerful character, I think of this fragrance. I think this fragrance is absolutely beautiful, extremely high quality. It smells like, I don't know why, but in my mind it smells like a closet full of fresh clothes or suits around like sunset. And I would say, even though this is a cold working weather fragrance, you can wear this in certain occasions only if you have the confidence to pull this off. I wouldn't sort of niche this down to only one occasion, because it's really hard to with this sort of fragrance, or with Dior Homme Intense as a fragrance alone. But regardless, I still think this is an absolutely beautiful fragrance. There are some differences from this to the original. I still don't get much pear from this. I don't get much orris from this, but at the same time, I still think this is quite similar to the original. I'd say it's about 85 to 90% similar to the original. Again, think Bruce Wayne or Batman, or like a dark man dressed up in the suits, about to like go out during like sunrise or sunset. Say New York, for example. That's what it smells like. It smells very, very upper class. It smells like business. It smells like you're a man when you wear this, man. Oh yeah, ladies, don't wear this, man. Ladies, you can wear this if you want, if you are like confident in yourself, but preferably I'd say this is definitely a more masculine leaning perfume. Save this for the men, man. Regardless, beautiful, beautiful fragrance, I will say. Either way, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. As I said, my mic's still absolutely garbage, so please excuse the terrible audio. I will get that fixed very soon. But yeah, man, thank you so much for coming in and watching this YouTube video today. If you do have any more suggestions, please do not hesitate to leave them down below in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, man. I'm still a small YouTuber, so I'm trying to grow. Either way, guys, thank you once again so much for coming in to watch this video today, and I wish you lot a good rest of your day. See you guys.